It is so hard to cover in like an hour or less all of the things that I have learned in the last decade. So I'm not sure if you guys know who I am and know who London is, but we're just going to start first by saying so much love. Welcome, unicorns. I'm Diane Kazer, and
I am London Souza.
And London, where are you right now?
I am in Austria. Mm-hmm. And where are you? Where are you?
Almost noon here, and I'm in California, Laguna Beach, but I like to say that Earth is my home. So we have made it our life's work to really, truly heal ourselves from the inside out so that we could share this with you guys. So this whole journey is about you guys, and we're here to help you guys find the path to your heart. And what I'm now creating this to be is that conscious cleansing for hormone balance is what I landed on yesterday. And then I dreamed about it last night, and I woke up this morning feeling so confident about where we're all heading with this cleanse. This cleanse has had many, many upgrades, many remodels. It's been around for over 2 years now. I've been leading it for, I've been leading things like this for the last 5 years as a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner and 8 total years in the nutrition field. So we're going to talk more about who we are, but more importantly, we're going to talk about why this is really important for you guys and why it is not your fault today that you feel the way that you do, fat, fatigued, and frustrated. If at all you guys get triggered in this webinar and you're like, oh man, screw Diane, I can't believe she just said that. Good. Mm-hmm. Good. Because that means at some point, London and I want you to get so pissed off about your current reality that you want something to change. And that's what we're here for. We're here to piss you off. We're here to shake you up enough where you're like, okay, this is enough. When will I finally make myself number one? What would you say about that, London?
This is such a great place to start. Let's say it like that. So no matter where you are on what like kind of thought process I just kind of outlined there, I know this is an excellent place to start, an excellent place to be. And yeah, I'm excited for this part. I'm excited.
Well said, London, because ladies, this cleanse, what we're going to do in July, there's some people who've tuned in who've been around with me for 5+ years. There's some people, and there's a reason for that. There's some people who are new. There's different people from different places. And if you're referred here, you're here in the exact spot for the exact reason. Don't take that for granted. We are put places for a reason. And we women today are being called to listen to our intuition now more than ever. This is where the unicorn horn stems from, is our third eye, our intuition. And so this is why we listen to it. Now you're going to doubt yourself because our society trains us to doubt ourselves because we need things. We need to spend money to make ourselves valid from the outside. I'm telling you right now that you are beautifully magical, unique, and valid from the inside out. And so it's time to listen to that gut intuition that moves in text messages right up to your third eye and says, I'm here for something, listen to it. So once you're done with this cleanse, you're not done with this cleanse. This is your whole new life. This is your new community and your new family. The kind of energy that hopefully when you're on this webinar that we're ready for, that we want you guys to hear inside of yourself, is that there's something inside of you that's saying, I'm ready for something bigger. And if you don't even know what it is, just trust that intuition because we're going to take care of you. We're going to talk about hormones in this cleanse. We're going to talk about hormones in this webinar. And then beyond that, we're going to talk about how to keep going on with your hormone revival, because most people do not know this one simple fact, that hormonal disaster begins with a toxic body, period. So when women say, I need to fix my hormones. Well, first of all, there's nothing broken about you, right? It's just imbalanced. And the reason why your hormones are in chaos right now is because you have a toxic body, and that is not your fault. Some of it, once you are done with this webinar, if you don't do something with it, then it becomes, well, now I have a solution, but I'm not taking it. So then it becomes like, well, I need to be accountable for the fact that now I've got this tool, but I'm not using it. Let's start. We're going to start here with the video. I use this one in our makeover challenge. We've got 4 different types of challenges that we've created over the last 6 months, which has been so awesome. Different challenges for different women doing different things. London is a fitness expert. I would say I'm the nutrition and hormone expert. London has nutrition background. We've got Maya, who's tuned in now, who's created all of our warrior cleanse, or most of the warrior cleanse recipes. And we've also got Alex, who's really awesome, who's been transforming her skin from the inside out. So she's awesome. She knows we've got a team to support you guys. It's not just me and London. So there's a whole community, brilliant unicorn warriors. This is not just like, oh, let's talk about macros. This is like, We're getting deep, ladies. So I'm going to start here with a video. I'm going to share my screen, and then we're going to move into some of the slideshow images so you guys can see the order through which we have to go through hormonal reversal of chaos, starting with cleansing and why that's so important.
There are a lot of chemicals in our environment. Chemicals make up everything around us, including our own bodies. Chemicals such as water, oxygen, and carbon are essential to life. But many other chemicals can be toxic, including substances that can cause cancer, known as carcinogens. Carcinogens can damage our DNA and the way our cells work. Our bodies have built-in defenses to stop or correct this damage. But sometimes these safety mechanisms fail, allowing genetic changes to accumulate. Once healthy cells can transform, aggressively growing and dividing. This uncontrolled cell growth is what we know as cancer. Unlike normal cells, cancer cells do as they please. They hide from our immune system and form tumors that create their own blood supply. They can even invade other organs. These are some of the characteristic hallmarks of cancer. They're what distinguish cancer cells from normal cells. Right now, scientists test individual chemicals one at a time to see if they can cause cancer on their own. Chemicals that break down our defenses and cellular controls, triggering a series of cellular changes that create the characteristic hallmark properties, eventually leading to cancer. This research has revealed a lot about carcinogens, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Since the 1970s, about 85,000 chemicals have been approved for commercial use. People come in contact with these chemicals every day, and we don't experience them one at a time. Scientists have found hundreds of carcinogens in people. A group of scientists taking part in the Halifax project have a new theory, that combinations of chemicals could act together to contribute to cancer. As with individual carcinogens, each component of a chemical mixture could knock down the body's defenses and cellular controls, triggering the hallmarks one by one. Combined, a mixture of chemicals could unleash a similar cascade of cellular changes, transforming healthy cells to cancer cells. We continue to try to piece together the causes of cancer. What types of carcinogens might be undetected because we have failed to study how combinations of chemicals affect people who are exposed. To take that next giant leap to prevent and treat cancer, we need to understand how the many chemicals we encounter interact to affect our bodies. Cancer haunts so many of us. More than 1.5 million Americans will be diagnosed this year alone. Now is the time to take control of our health and avoid the toxic chemicals that may cause cancer.
So happiness comes from within. 80% of our immune system lives in the gut. And it is a common, a major myth today that the reason why we are depressed is because it's in the mind. Depression begins in the gut. It is the foods that we eat. So many people don't realize how every single symptom, every single experience that you have is tracked back to your body, what you eat, your gut microbiome, hormonal problems start there. Your sex drive that is completely maybe gone or flatlined begins there. Your satisfaction with your life begins there. When we gave women one recipe, and it was the Love My Hormone shake, it was last year, and I had 100 women try this. I surveyed all of them. 95% of women had every single one of the symptoms were 90% or plus their satisfaction with hormone revival. Their sex drive came back, their skin improved, their hair grew back, their grew thicker anyway, their happiness levels were higher, their energy levels, their bowel movements. So you guys, food is everything. And it is difficult to have a positive mindset when you don't have a positive diet. So this is critical. Every one of these things stems from what you put in your mouth and on your body. So we're going to talk about all of these things. We always start our cleanses. We always start every challenge with these questions. Like, what is it that you want? Like, and I like to replace the word goal with dreams. It's an acronym that I've created, and you'll see it in the Warrior Cleanse. What does dreams mean? But I want you not just to think, and don't even use the word not in your goals. It's to not feel so tired. That's not very sexy. The universe does not hear the word not. The universe just hears, I want to feel tired. It doesn't hear not. So let's cancel out the word not and make it a positive. I want to have incredible amounts of energy. What does that look like? Why is that important to you? What will you gain when you reach it? Who will benefit from that? And so we get a lot of moms that do the warrior cleanse, and they do it because they're protective mama bears that are fed up feeling like crap. And then they see it in their kids' face, and they see it in their kids' performance, and they see it in their spouses, or they see it in their marriages, because now we're at a rate that 50% of marriages end in divorce. If it's a second marriage, it's 67%. If it's a third marriage, it's like 80%. Why? Because we're not feeling our best. If we're not confident, then we're not having sex. We have sexless marriages, and we have disconnections. And oxytocin is a hormone that's made in the gut. It's a happy hormone. It connects us to our significant other. It's what makes an orgasm. It's a lot of these things that are very important to understand. You'll learn more about this in the Warrior Cleanse. The oxytocin is a hormone that is produced by your gut bacteria, like probiotics. So it's not just enough to take a probiotic. There's a lot of myths around that. You'll learn that stuff too. Then you're also going to learn how to keep these guys, these girls, fed and happy. So I want you to imagine a whole, do not stop with, I just want more energy. I don't even like the word just either. I just want to feel more energy. Those are not sexy either. I want you guys to really dream. Maya has mentioned this several times, a vision board, to really dream. What is it that I want? Why am I fed up? Why is this going to be my last cleanse ever? And I do mean that if you guys take these tools away, you won't need to cleanse ever again, meaning looking for a system that's going to help you. You will continue to cleanse it. We're going to teach you how to live a cleansed life. So it really is your last cleanse because you live a cleansed lifestyle. And so what happens if you don't reach this goal? So this is where is appropriate. What happens if I don't do something? What will my life look like in a year from now if I haven't made any changes? How much sicker will I be? What kind of disease might I have? You guys saw that video talking about cancer. The reason I showed you this is because cancer is coming for half of men and a third of women. And it is now becoming a childlike experience where more children now are getting cancer than ever. And that is all because of toxins. Kids are like the age of 4 or 5. They don't have a crazy mindset. They're not tripping out about looking good for everybody else. They're 4 or 5. They're innocent. Chemicals. Why are our dogs dying so quickly from cancer? Chemicals. So every single person in your life is going to benefit from you cleansing. Everyone you touch, it will shift the paradigm of what you believe what it is like to be a human being. So you go from a human doing, I got my to-do list, I got my checklist, I got to get these things done, to actually being and living your life and maybe traveling the world like London and myself and inspiring other people. But it starts with you first. We want to get you guys more energy. So we'll talk a little bit more about this system. And also, what has stopped you from reaching this goal in the past? We tend to shame ourselves for not being the person that we want to be. And then we tend to outwardly blame others for not having that vision, that dream. And so it stops now because you guys are finally here where you're going to learn about how to bring that dream into realization and then live your life in such a way that you can dream bigger a year from now because it keeps getting better. I don't know any other cleanse that does that. So how do I get there? I love me some Tony Robbins, and you're going to see
me too.
He's
amazing.
My fave. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have not seen the documentary, I Am Not Your Guru, that is what you're going to learn more about in this group. We're not here to save you. We're here to inspire you so that you can save yourself. Do you guys get that? That is so important to understand, is you already have everything you need inside of you to heal. We're going to help you get there. So Tony Robbins says, if you want to be successful, find someone who's achieved the same results and copy what they're doing. Hey, you're here. So I've been doing this for a long time. And then London's now been doing it for almost a year. And Maya and Alex have been doing it. And everybody's like, wow, I can't believe how easy it was just to make a few simple tweaks. And every single thing I've tried has pretty much worked. So who is this person, Diane Kazer? And why should I listen to Diane? So this is me in India. I like to live on the edge a little bit, try things, get risky so that you guys don't have to be, I understand. It's the whole point of this is not to be me and try crazy things and swim with bull sharks and stuff, which I've done, but it's to just follow what we've set out for you guys. You don't have to follow it to the T again. This is about being resilient. You do the things that we lay out, you try them. If it doesn't work, you try something new. Our community is there to support you. Here's a little bit about me that a lot of people don't know. I used to actually be an alcoholic. I was in denial about it. I was a pro soccer player. I numbed a lot of myself because I was afraid of my light. I was afraid of standing out. I was afraid of being unique. And therefore I created my own dis-ease. I created, and this is something that I want you guys to ask yourself. Do you believe that just as much as you can heal, you can also create your own dis-ease? And we have a lot of people who have come to us and joined our groups who want to reverse autoimmune disease. You're in the right place, because autoimmune disease begins at the end of your fork. Autoimmune disease begins in between your eyes and the thoughts that you think. It is so very critically important to believe that just as much as you can heal, you can also self-sabotage to create your own dis-ease and symptoms. So, and you may think I'm crazy for saying this, but if you believe that you really can heal, then you're in the right place. If you don't, you're not in the right place. I had Hashimoto's hypothyroid. I reversed my autoimmune disease. So if that's something that you're here for, awesome, you're in the right place. That begins in the gut. I had SIBO, which means I had a lot of bacteria in the wrong place. So I had a lot of belly bloat. I could not find that six-pack set of abs that London was talking about earlier. Cystic acne, I took Accutane, which is a drug, pharmaceutical. It's one of the most toxic drugs, and it's actually chemo that they went, oh, cool. When they gave it to patients, it reversed their acne. And so they said, let's just start giving chemo to people, which has actually caused a lot of damage to my body that is hard to reverse, like leaky gut. Leaky gut is the pathway to many of these diseases today. And so it's something we're going to be talking about in the Warrior Cleanse and how to heal it. Birth control toxicity, I had estrogen dominance, I had urinary tract infections, I had adrenal imbalance, I had estrogen dominance, heavy metal toxicity, lots of mercury, lots of aluminum, lots of cadmium. My dad used to smoke. So if you're from a smoking household or not, you may get migraines a lot. We can help you with that. Lots of migraine support, which is rooted in toxicity. If you've been depressed, or if you are depressed, if you're on an antidepressant, we're not saying don't take any of these things, you guys. We're saying that we can support your body, that you can take the path of getting off of these things if you desire, because we have done it many times. Candida, parasites, bacteria, these are things that create leaky gut. And then food cravings, of course, a lot of women are like, oh my God, I'm like out of control with these food cravings. We will help you control them. So if anything, you guys see how sick of a unicorn I was. They say that the best healers are the people who need healing the most. And I had a lot of tormenting in my mind. I still do. I still work through it. But the more positive I can be with myself, the more I can heal my body. And I want you guys to understand that too. And that's why I'm such a truth seeker, because you can truly recover from all of these things. And we're going to help you do it in the Warrior Cleanse. Check out London. Damn, girl.
That's me.
London, what would you say about your journey, about how you've healed? I mean, you weren't like extraordinarily overweight to begin with. So I would imagine some of the women are like, oh my God, you looked already amazing before.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said in the beginning, when we first talked about maybe you know that there's something wrong or whatever. I posted this picture on Instagram like 2 days ago. And first of all, I would just say that it's so interesting to me how many times, no matter how many times I post about what I go through, whatever, how many people are like, me too, I have this problem, this happened to me, this happened to me, blah, blah, blah. It's crazy. So when I posted this on Instagram, I said, like, it's not that I looked bad on the left side. I just like knew that there was something wrong. I knew that I wasn't feeling 100%. I knew that my efforts and energy putting towards my dream and my life, which was traveling the world and working out and being healthy and fit, I knew I was doing everything within my power and know-how to be as fit and healthy as possible. And it still wasn't enough. And so when I look at these pictures, I just realized, like, for me, it was never really even about the body, because I never really even, like, I always was fine. I always felt strong. And I felt like I had a good body. I had some abdominal muscles, like some arm muscles, like whatever. I always felt fine. It was never really like, I want to cleanse because I want a six pack. It was just like, I knew I was feeling imbalanced. And I knew that, I mean, it is and was then my purpose in life to like be honest and open and authentic with what I'm going through in my life, and especially health and fitness wise, and to really tackle it and figure out for myself what the hell was going on and to share it with people. And so when I look at this picture, I see there's like the black line in between, and the line is really skinny, but I really see like so much in that black line there of like what we did and all the testing I went through. And it didn't matter how healthy and fit and everything I thought I was. It wasn't right for me, and it wasn't the right path that I needed to be on. And now when I look at this picture now, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, it's great to have abs, but I think it's even more than that, because I feel that the way that I feel on the inside is reflected now how I look on the outside. Like, I feel strong. I feel like empowered. I feel happy. I feel healthy. And yeah, I don't know. When I took these pictures, I always take progress pictures just to kind of see, like, what am I working on? I'm in the fitness industry, so that's kind of my thing. But when I took this picture and I sent it to you, I was kind of like, wow, like, it's crazy how your body can really respond to everything that you're doing when you're in hormone balance. So it doesn't matter, like, what workout plan you're doing, what you think you're eating healthy, or you're not eating healthy, or you think that, or let's say you don't think, but you don't remember all the little bites and pieces here of all the shit and crap and things you're ingesting and doing, and just a little bit, or just that it's really adding up and making a difference. And so I think when I really took the reins and took care of myself and decided that I didn't care if a doctor told me that, I had to be on birth control. So I don't know who's on here right now, so some people might not even know what the heck happened, but I was on birth control for 11 years. And every time I tried to get off of birth control, my whole entire face would break out with horrible cystic acne, like unrecognizable, like crazy acne. I posted before and after pictures before. I'm sure I'll post a ton of before and after pictures in the Warrior Cleanse group this month. But yeah, and so I was always afraid and ashamed to have a crazy face, like beyond crazy acne. Every morning I would wake up, I'd have at least 20 new pimples, like cystic oozing pimples on my face. And I was in front of a camera, and my job is very public and not just personal, like social media stuff, but where I work at Runtastic, I do a lot of public stuff. So it was a lot of shame. It was a lot of embarrassment, but at the same time, it was also a lot of frustration, as you said before, because I wanted to get better, but I wanted it to work, and I wanted it to be something that actually gave me results so that I could continue to do what I love and do my job and be in front of a camera and help other people. But I just knew if I wasn't helping myself 100%, I wouldn't be able to help other people. And so I think you said it before too. It's like, we're all works in progress. And I think what you and I and our coaches are kind of put on this earth to do, and hopefully you guys will feel that as well, is just like, look at yourself, look internally and figure out what you need to do to get you better and you healthy. Because when you're your best healthy self, you can be the best, friend, colleague, partner, everything. Yep. And so it's really so much more than just the body. It was just like getting myself in check so that I could be what I was supposed to be. And that was like energetic and outgoing and helping people. And I didn't have the energy for it. And I knew I was kind of hiding and burying some sort of secret with the Band-Aid, which was called birth control. And I just hated that. And so, under the circumstances that you and I met, we met a long time ago, like fluke accident, and then come back together. And I just hope that people that are here, that are listening and watching, know that you're not here for an accident. You don't meet people for an accident, or, get in contact with the group or a webinar or whatever by accident. These are real stories and real lives and real things that are happening. And I think when we're all together doing it together, it's so much better. I know that it is. I did it with you guys. I did it with you, Diane, one-on-one. And it's always just so much better when you're in a group and kind of healing and everything together. So yeah. That's me. Yeah. That's me.
So yeah, it's awesome when you can say that's me. Like, you guys can go from, if you're 300 pounds and you're looking to be 150 or 180, or if you're just like 300 looking to go to 250, or if you're like 150 looking to go to 170, like if you want to gain weight, this cleanse is not just to get a six pack. This cleanse is not just to get a little more energy. This cleanse is to give you your life back, whatever that looks like. If you don't have your health, what do you have? And so I've seen women struggle and struggle and struggle. And they're like, yeah, one day when I'm ready, or one day and once I stop this. You cannot wait another day to not feel your most amazing self, because what is waiting for you on the other side is not just the six pack. It's the potential for you to be able to have 3 to 5 times more energy, which is the numbers that I've heard. And what would you do with that time? And you cannot get time back, but you guys, you're going to get more confidence to do the things that you never thought you would be able to do, especially because this community is contagious too. So another Tony Robbins, a real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there's no action, you haven't decided. So this is where people say, yeah, I'm doing some of the things, right? Like a lot of people now I see, they go over-educate themselves. They get another certification, they watch another video, they join another, like summit, they read another book, and they're like, oh yeah, I know about all that stuff. But what are you really putting into action? you cannot have discovery. You cannot learn what works and what doesn't work unless you've fallen on your face over and over and over and over. Michael Jordan and I both share something in common, and that is that he was rejected in his college team as well. I thought I was a piece of shit because I went from superstar to bench bitch. I call it badass to bench bitch. And I was like, oh, well, you know what? Why do I keep trying then? And I've carried that for 2 decades, that insecurity that I wasn't good enough to be played. 2 decades, you guys. And I'm finally discovering that the reason why I have created disease in my body is because of my negative mindset about myself, because of one man who told me that I was not worthy of playing. And so if you guys have the courage to, and you have the inner knowing that there's something better for you, then the action is waiting for you. This is the Why You Need a Cleanse guide that I had sent to all of you guys in the very first one. I'm not sure if the second one sent it. I think it did. But there's many reasons why we need to cleanse. I talked a lot about mindset stuff. But number one, you eat way too much sugar. We know that. And I'm not here to shame you guys that you're eating too much sugar and that you've got bad food cravings. We got to get that under control. It will control itself, by just following the things we're going to teach you guys. There's a lot of fake chemicals that are creating this desire to eat more. Sugar is more addictive than heroin. Number two, you're not eating enough produce. We're going to cover how to make this simple for you guys. So these are things that you guys know, but we're going to put it into practice. So it's much more simple for you to be successful with it, especially with busy lifestyles, especially if you're traveling. You really have no excuse to fail. We're going to help you with all of it. You keep trying to lose weight, and then actually you trying to lose your symptoms too. Like London mentioned about birth control the wrong way. Unfortunately, this is the not your fault part about this, is that our society teaches you that you need to purchase these crazy tips and tricks from the outside in order to heal. And they're just Band-Aids. So we're going to teach you how to finally drop the inflammation, drop the weight of your mind the right way. Sorry, ladies, but caffeine is actually killing us and destroying our hormones. There's a whole guide that I wrote in the Warrior Cleanse for you that are going to teach you why. And it's also, we have an amazing alternative for you guys that have proven to save a lot of unicorns' lives. It's something that I am personally, admittedly addicted to. I do it every morning almost, and I switch it around, but it gives you more energy than coffee for a longer period. It loves in your hormones. So we'll talk more about that too. And then we live in a toxic soup. So even me, I live in Laguna Beach, but I live super close to the ocean, but there's toxins everywhere. So we're going to talk about that as well. So here's the proof: how much sugar are we consuming every day? And what's changed over the years is that adults is on the top. We actually consume 142% more than what is suggested per day. Typically, and that's actually a little more than that from what I've seen too, is that we shouldn't consume any more than like 50 added grams of sugar a day. And the most average Americans are consuming like 150. So the liver can't process all of that. And what does it do with it? It turns it into fat. And then our body can't convert hormones appropriately. And even though our lab results will say, oh, your thyroid, hormones are normal. Oh, we don't know what's going on. And you leave and you're like, I feel like crap. Why? It's because we've got blood sugar imbalances. So the first thing we have to address, especially with we hormonally sensitive unicorn women, is we need to address blood sugar issues, because when your blood sugar drops and your fuel tank is at low, you're going to grab for more sugar. We've got to stop this vicious cycle and get you energy, which is the first week of the Warrior Cleanse. We'll talk more about that. Sugar isn't everything. So you guys may be like, oh yeah, but I thought like honey and maple syrup. It's like there's a lot of trickery out there right now. And you guys will learn things like natural flavors is one of the things that's labeled in a lot of foods. Well, doesn't that sound super cute and like beautiful and organic? Nope, because natural flavors can actually contain high fructose corn syrup, which is the #1 reason for diabetes today. So lots of these things are you're going to learn more about. Added sugar, where does it come from? I mean, you guys might, a lot of people come to us, they're not typically eating this crap, right? But some people do think that eating a lot of tons of fruit all day is a good thing. And we want to replace some of that with vegetables because it has more fiber and it carries your energy levels longer throughout the day. It's higher glycemics. We'll talk more about that, which is #2. You're not eating enough produce. What they've done is they've actually studied the average American diet here. Check this out. 63% of our calories are coming from processed foods. Yikes. Right now, the top 5 foods consumed in America are genetically modified organisms, which definitely screw up our genetics and prevent our body's ability to detoxify bad hormones and create new good hormones. So you want to know where your hormonal chaos comes from? food, if you're consuming foods that have been designed to blow up insects, bugs when they land on it, what do you think your digestive tract's going to do? There's a whole bunch of proof for that too. So people are like, oh, where's the proof? Well, you know, everything that the government says is pretty much backed by massive amounts of money, because they're in bed with a lot of these, you know, canola and soy and these foods that they say are healthy for us, but they're actually not. So,
even processed foods. I mean, all of the industries are being heavily sponsored by, like, I don't know, I don't say any brands, but like processed meats and processed dairy and processed everything. Like it's just
processed non-organic too.
When some people are like, oh, this is according to this, and I'm like, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
You check their sponsor list and then get back to me and then give me a different source.
Yes, this is the part right there. This is the curious part, you guys, is that you guys, even us, you don't just take what we say for, you know, you can, the thing is, when you start getting results, you'll be able, you start thinking, okay, these girls know what they're talking about. And so when we throw something out there, you'll go, okay, this is probably pretty accurate, you know, based on what they've done the research for. So you don't have to do all of it. But there's some really stupid bullshit things out there. Like right now, the AMA, I think it was, just said, oh yeah, coconut oil is bad for you. Like, come on, ref. That's a total red card. I mean, where does our fat hormones come from? Our fat hormones are made out of B vitamins and cholesterol. Cholesterol is in things like coconut oil and healthy fats. So then there's people who ask the questions, and you guys will be able to ask this in the group too. Like, well, is meat still good for us? And most people are going vegan and vegetarian because meats take a lot of work to digest. We are already overworked in our day-to-day, right? So you guys get to decide, if I'm going to eat meat, which we do, you know, take away and then add back in the Warrior Cleanse, then you want to make sure you have the right digestive tools to break it down. We talked so much about that. But plant food, vegetables, those are things that we're definitely not giving enough credence to, that helps us. They're like the broom of when our body's done using hormones. There's all these hormone metabolites that get trapped in the liver, and the vegetable and the colon too. The vegetables are like the broom that sweeps up the mess when we're done making hormones. And so many of us have backed up estrogen, which becomes the very toxic, dangerous estrogen. Guess what feeds cancer? Estrogen. These metabolites that have been backed up in the colon, backed up in the liver. So it's not enough to say that today, you know, taking a thyroid test or like looking at your hormones and everything appears to be normal according to your doctors. They don't know anything about any of this stuff. And I do mean that as an absolute. They've had 8 hours of nutrition on average after 8 years of medical school. 8 hours. They don't know anything about this stuff. So your doctor's not going to say that food has anything to do with it. They're going to say, take this Synthroid, which increases the likelihood of stroke in women. And I've seen this a lot in my practice. Thyroid hormone is not something that your body typically lacks. It's the ability to convert it in your liver. So you need a clean liver for this to happen. And then you also need a healthy colon with the right microbes, the probiotics, to clean out and make new hormones to get them out of the body. So if you want to know the main reason why hormonal issues are abound with women is a toxic liver, an overworked adrenal system, and an undernourished colon, period. And we're going to talk about so we have a whole week dedicated to each one of those things in the Warrior Cleanse. So the number 3 reason, and by the way, what I just said, if you hear nothing else, that's what this whole cleanse is about. And mindset and love too, of course. But a lot of women are also taught to eat this shit. Now, this is a bar that I took straight from the internet. This is like one of those, like, I'm not going to say the brand, but it's a bar. Here, let's count some points and eat this crap. I don't know what, this is all fake stuff. If you can't pronounce it, your body won't be able to, if you can't identify it with your mind, your body won't be able to identify it in the colon. This all turns to cancer, dis-ease, fat, because your body doesn't know what to do with it. It's a toxin. Your body will store toxins in the safest place, which is in your fat cells. So you won't see any of these ingredients typically in any of the things that we're talking about. It's full of GMO, artificial sweeteners. And by the way, these are the individual ingredients that are creating your brain to eat more. And even some of you guys who have a somewhat healthy diet, there's something typically going on in your liver and your colon, which we're going to address. So even some of you who are like, oh, I eat healthy already, but like, you know, we're going to get into that too. So no matter where you're at, we're going to meet you there. Depending on where your body's storing fat, most women I see are adrenal and thyroid. About 70 to 80% of women I see are adrenal types. We got that belly fat that just won't let go. If you're in that last 5-10 pounds or whatever, want your 6-pack, typically that's just inflammation from some of the leftover stuff in the colon and the liver. Thyroid is another like 20% of women that I see. A lot of issues with every cell in the entire body has a thyroid receptor site. By the way, ladies, this is where you're going to see your thyroid hormone results being normal, quote unquote normal. Oh, my thyroid's fine. My doctor said my thyroid's fine. But number one, they have not looked at thyroid antibodies, which is your immune system. It literally, those are markers that show that your immune system goes, oh crap, and it accidentally starts attacking your own self. That's an autoimmune. So it's, your internal fire that's happening from within. And then they're like, oh, we got to remove your thyroid. No, dude, your thyroid is so important. It's your metabolic engine. It gives you energy. It helps you burn fat. It gives you a lot of it's a huge part of why so many women are depressed today, because we say that the body is depressed. It's because the thyroid is sluggish, not because it's not making enough hormone, but typically because the liver, where 70% of it converts thyroid hormone so that it could be used by your cells, but it takes potassium to get into the cells. So I hope that kind of makes some sense there. I should probably create a slide for it. But this is where, ladies, you're going to see your doctor says, oh, your labs are fine, but you know what's not fine? Your liver. It's congested. It can't convert it to the active form. And then even when your body does, it needs potassium to get it into the cells, because every cell of your body has a thyroid receptor site. And if it can't get into the cells, your body's depressed, your mind is depressed, everything slows down, your hormone production slows down, your bowels slow down, and you're like, why do I feel like shit? Like in every system of the body. So you got a thyroid specialist, but they don't understand every 11 systems of the body. So we get a lot of potassium in the diet. We get a lot of the EMs, which is the minerals, magnesium. You learn about more of the importance of those things so that your body can actually start supporting itself from the inside. So you guys will figure out which type you are. We also work with a lot of women PCOS, when a lot of women who are bleeding excessively, who have like 2 periods or no periods or every other month periods. That could be an ovarian issue where you're literally converting estrogen to testosterone, and you get like facial hair and your hair starts falling out. I'm telling you guys that every single one of these issues, when people say, is the Warrior Cleanse a good idea for? My answer is yes. Is the Warrior Cleanse good? Yes. Why?
Just mid-sentence. Yes.
Yeah, just yes. Why?
Is
because
that,
it teaches you to be human again.
100%.
This cleanse is not a specialized thing to go after thing. We are taught that you need to work with a specialist to fix stuff. Bullshit. You are the specialist, my sister. You are the specialist. This cleanse will turn you on to that. You are fucking special. And this cleanse is going to bring you right into your healing zone so you can reverse all these issues that you're having. It's inside. It's already inside. So we just got to turn that on. Next, sorry, I swear sometimes when I get real passionate. I'm going to skip this over. This is, you rely heavily on caffeine is the number 4 reason why you need this cleanse. Yeah, people are like, oh, coffee, must have coffee. I'm like, girlfriend, no, you must have adaptogens. So I am on a mission with our team here to let you guys know that coffee is destroying you. Caffeine is destroying you. And we're going to replace it with something called adaptogens. You're going to learn all about this in the first week of the hormone, the Warrior Cleanse with emphasis on hormones. Number 5, we live in a toxic soup. You guys know this, more than 75,000 chemicals. We've talked all about this. Less than 3% of these chemicals have been tested for safety. And they've done, like you heard in that video, they've done studies on one chemical, but they've never, and there is no way that we know of just yet to test how these chemicals all interact in the body. It is what is creating so much disease. So we want to be ahead of it. So you guys are not the ones going, oh my God, I just got the results back. I've got cancer. And then you're bullied into thinking that chemo and radiation is necessary. Check this out. Chemo and radiation. Oncologists, that's the specialist group of people who help you when you get cancer. And the current conventional model, 80% of oncologists would not opt for chemo and radiation if they got cancer. Does that tell you anything? They see it literally killing people. Cancer is not the problem. It is the symptom of the underlying problem, which is this lifestyle that we live that we're going to rectify with the Warrior Cleanse. Let me scroll here. Oh yeah, what the hell I don't even know what these things are. We're just going to get them as far away from you guys as possible. This is our standard American diet. It's not even food. It's PHUDE. It's rude food.
Food with the pH. I love it.
Yeah, it's what is this stuff? GMO fed animals, antibiotics. Even the animals are not respected. If the animals are not respected, our bodies are not feeling respected either. So we also are thinking about the animals here. If you don't care about yourself, care about the animals, change your diet. Plastics and BPA. This is also number one cancer food. It's the number one estrogen exposure today. This is where we see a lot of young girls. They've got acne. They're being told to get on the birth control at the age of 8, 9, 10, 13. If you have young daughters, or this is you yourself, if you're a teenager, if you're a mom, if you're not a mom, but you're an older woman, and a menopausal, like I said, we help everyone. This is how we're retraining you how to be a human again, a human being. So we're bringing us back to our roots again. But BPA, all these plastics, these things that look like estrogen to the body, these are things that create hormonal chaos. So again, I go back to saying, you are not broken. The system is broken. So it is not your fault, but we're going to retrain you, reprogram you on how to think differently, how to shop differently, how to eat differently, how to think differently. This is what creates estrogen dominance in the body. And so we want to create a space for cleansing of that, liver, the colon, etc. These are the symptoms of estrogen dominance. Does this look familiar to any of us?
I'm going to chime in here because, okay, I'm going to go. I had estrogen dominance. So that's kind of what we did when I worked with you and looking at this list. PMS for sure, mood swings, chronic fatigue. I would say borderline PCOS. We never fully identified it, but I did have a lot of cysts on my ovaries, ovarian cysts, which is below here. I had acne. I guess I had some sort of fat loss plateau. I didn't have any migraines or hair loss or anything like that. But then I had like one, sometimes none, sometimes 2 periods per month. So yeah, I was looking at this list is quite eye-opening and just interesting, because seeing all the symptoms here to like, which I would have been able to check off then, I really I don't think any of these. I still deal with fatigue every now and then. I really figured out a balance on my training schedule and when to say no. I've said no to a few things work related, like just different things for work that I have to do, whether it's a workout or an appearance or in a presentation. I've said no to a few things this week, which I'm very proud of.
Oh, I love
because I'm honoring that. And now looking at this list, I feel very grateful and thankful that I have found this system and been able to work with you and cross off a lot of these symptoms I had before, like a lot, which is crazy. Yeah. So very interesting.
I'm glad that you said that, because you guys, if you're struggling with this is also what makes this cleanse very unique. You're in a group where, London is one of the top world known fitness icons. So if you guys have any questions about fitness stuff, she's in there. Like I said, Maya's in there. If you want to make a recipe taste better, she's one that created them and how to eat on the go. And then Alex has really been diving deep in the skin stuff. I mean, we all have our own little things that we've been learning. And everybody has had major aha moments. And a big one that you just mentioned, London, is boundaries, as learning just to say no, because we do start to give so many fucks about gaining approval and doing things because we feel as though we need that sort of approval, but we don't. It's okay to say no. So even if it's not within the parameters of this cleanse, you've got people in the group who all understand what creates toxicity and how to get rid of the things like the need for approval, the need to be superwoman, the need to say yes to everything. So healthy boundaries are really important. I like to say that we're all learning how to navigate how to be a boundary badass instead of a boundary bitch. Because you don't need to say, no, oh my God, I would never go to that. Like, who do you think we don't need to say it like that. So internal emotional stress is a big source of this. So we will talk about a lot of these things too. So it's chemical interference. Yeah.
I don't know if you have this on one of your slides, but it's come up on the side here just a little bit and I mean, I know this because this is what I went through, but I would love for you to just chime in a little bit. So as far as we're talking about all these toxins in here, and Courtney on the side, she asked, how does birth control come into play here? Well, birth control is just one of those major, crazy, insane toxins that we're coming in contact with almost by not force, but by recommendation by these doctors that we're supposed to be trusting.
Okay. So here's a big part of why birth control is literally, it's probably one of the worst things that would have happened to females. It's it allowed us to be more frisky and promiscuous and enjoy our bodies more. But then that created a new revelation where we got shamed for like being more promiscuous. So it's like this double-edged sword, right? But synthetic estrogen, anything synthetic, our body's like, what is that? And synthetic estrogen will fuel cancer cells. Estrogen is cancer food. Estrogen grows things, right? So it's important when we get pregnant, estrogen increases because all of our hormones increase. But it's important and estrogen is not a bad thing. It's just bad when it's not in the Goldilocks range, and it's not good if it's synthetic. So our body stops producing on its own. It also creates the situation where it increases what's called sex hormone binding globulin. It can't bring those hormones throughout the body like testosterone gives you a healthy sex drive is one of them. It also inhibits our progesterone levels. So what it does is, progesterone is the fountain of youth hormone. So you get a lot of women now who are like, take a progesterone cream or take progesterone shots or take progesterone pills, or increase, yam-based supplements. These are things that are progesterone-ish in the body. And so one of the things that I don't like about it is that it starts to fuel growth in the body. You get women who are more depressed. It interferes also with thyroid hormone transference in the body. So it literally will take, and it depletes you from so many different things. It also impairs your blood sugar regulations. So there's a whole there's books and books and books on why we are not a big fan of birth control in those senses, but we also have alternatives too. I was on the copper IUD for a long time, and the copper toxicity in my body increased also the synthetic estrogen in my body, caused me to be estrogen dominant, also increases candida. So that's one of the things as well, is that they've done studies, is that 80% plus of women who have been on birth control, estrogen, specifically based, but both of them, all of them, women who have been on birth control have had massive candida overgrowth, and that's a fungal overgrowth. So what we're seeing now is that fungus is the root cause of a number of diseases today. Isn't that fascinating? And guess what drives it? Birth control. The majority of women today are given birth control. My mom was recommended antidepressant birth control at the age of almost 50. What? Why? She can't have kids. She's menopausal. What? Okay. So this is what I see day in, day out, the ludicrousy of what we're recommended today for, hormonal freedom is just band-aiding things and then making things worse. And then you come back with other issues. And I just don't want you guys to have that vicious cycle. We also don't want you guys to get pregnant irresponsibly or without deciding that you want to get pregnant. So we do talk about alternatives, but the Warrior Cleanse is a 4-week program designed to get you to hormonal freedom. And then after that point, we're going to give you guys even more tools to continue down the path of hormonal rebalancing, how to also empower your body to start making them on your own, because it takes 6 months to a year to cleanse the body from the longer you've been on birth control, the longer it takes to cleanse your body from the destruction that it causes. It also, when it does the leak, when it inspires candida, fungal overgrowth in the body, that they've seen 80% plus of women, that is a huge proponent of leaky gut today. And guess what leaky gut births to us? Autoimmune disease, skin issues, hair falling out, depression. And, gut doctors that are trained today, they don't believe that leaky gut is even a thing, but yet it is all over the place in the new research that it is the main leading cause today of all of these symptoms. So you see how we can keep digging and tracing back all this stuff. We give you guys a system so that you don't have to know all this stuff, that you don't have to feel, again, you're probably at this point feeling overwhelmed, right? Oh my God, overwhelmed. This is how you're reacting to the situation, not at the actual situation. So we're going to take all of this, a lot of information on the overwhelm, and we're going to put it into a system for you guys. So you might also be thinking, well, what if I fail? And this cute little pig here. This guy doesn't have back feet, but he's still smiling and he's still rolling around his life. That's one thing that inspires me about dogs, is that you look around, they're always happy. They always want to go outside. They always want to be in nature. They're not thinking about this crazy stuff they have to do with the rest of their day. So be more like a pig, be more like a dog. But it is the courage to continue that counts. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. I love Winston Churchill. So the only failure that is ahead of you is if you do not start. So here's a couple of testimonials. London's we already talked about London's. She's had a huge transformation. We've worked with women all around the world. So you could be around literally parts of the world and do this cleanse and take it with you wherever you go. I took it with me to the Grand Canyon when I was doing like a camping excursion down there, had no access to the internet. I brought it with me. I was still cleansing. There's just really no excuse not to do this because we give you no excuse to fail. But she was a bodybuilder. She was taught a bikini competitor. She was taught to eat 6 meals a day. She was taught to eat the bodybuilding style, which is what a lot of people come to me with. Oh, I should eat this much and weigh my food and do all this stuff. Wrong. I was a bodybuilder too. But when she started with me and she did the warrior cleanse, she lost 7 pounds of inflammation, just like London, that picture, from her midsection. And she went on to win her first bikini competition. Well, she had done competitions, but she won her first one after she had done the warrior cleanse. Pretty badass. And that was 7 pounds in a month. This is also another woman, Carissa. She was down 10 pounds in the first month, and she thought, God, you know what? I had done so much research. I thought I knew so much already, but nothing made me feel whole like this. And this is actually her in like 7 days, actually, that she was down 10 pounds. So can you imagine what a whole month would do? And this is when I first started the warrior cleanse a long time ago. And then also, this is one thing I love, Jana. She came to us from South Africa. She found us on the internet, just a fun Google search. This is how a lot of people find us, actually, is they just like put it out there and then they find us. So if you found us, there's a reason. Listen to it with your horn. She had PCOS. She's a doctor. She went through med school, and the doctors were trying to get her to do like tens of thousands of dollars of treatment. Within 1 month, she was pregnant with this cute little beautiful baby here. And we just got word 3 months ago that she's now pregnant with her second one. She was told that she would never have a kid unless she did these drugs and the hormonal treatments. And now she's super healthy. She's hormonally happy, and she's 2 healthy babies. So this is the miracle of the warrior cleanse, is that anything, truly anything is possible. Actually, within 4 weeks of doing the warrior cleanse, she was pregnant. And then 3 years later, 2 or 3 years later, I think it was, she got pregnant with her second baby. This one I love. Deanna, she did the warrior cleanse. She was near suicide. Actually, she was suicidal. She lost 23 pounds in 1 month. She was bawling when she was able to fit into her dresses that she never thought she would again. And this is her daughter. So she's definitely handing down and passing down these things that she's learned. She's told so many women about the warrior cleanse, and it's just truly inspiring. It's a ripple effect. Once you learn about this stuff, you can't not tell other people about it. So she was off of all of her medications. She still has, you guys can see these videos of each one of these people on the warriorcleanse.com, where there are several women, they talk more about it. She lost 23 pounds and she's still living the warrior cleanse lifestyle. So here's what's included. Is all the videos that you guys are going to get with this includes like a grocery store tour. So it's like you're right next to me. I charge $300 to do a grocery store tour alone for people in Orange County. So you guys get that as part of this. So it already covers that. So it's like already covers the cost of a grocery store tour with me in person. You're going to get checklists and recipes. Every week is going to be different. We've got some fun fitness videos for you guys. A big question we get is, what kind of fitness should I be doing while I'm cleansing? Because we don't want to do too much to the body at once. So we provide some support there for you guys. Also, roadblock resistance. You're going to come across some roadblocks. We'll help you through that. Symptom support, like what does this mean? I'm going to show you guys in this cleanse for the very first time what biofilm looks like, what your poop will look like when you start to lose some of these things, so you don't get freaked out about it. This has never been talked about in any of my cleanses. I've never revealed any of these pictures. We're going to reveal them in the very first week so you guys understand what these things mean, so that you're not alarmed when you're seeing some of this stuff in your skin. Your body is 98% bug, 98% bug. You are 98% non-human. That's what makes a human is bugs. So we want to make sure it's the good bugs and not the bad bugs. And when the bad bugs leave your body, things can happen. Like we said, you might have some issues with it, but that doesn't mean to stop that the cleanse didn't work. It actually means it's working, but we're going to teach you how to support yourself so that you don't have as many negative symptoms, because we either need to A, slow down your cleansing, or B, expedite your adrenal and liver support. So lots of love, weekly videos, private Facebook tribe, health, heart-centered community, and then mindset support, which is typically the root cause of a lot of this. What's not included is the cost of food, cute animal pictures in these slides, cute babies in these slides, fluff, because we are not here to brown nose anything or sugarcoat anything. There's no dogma. There's no have to, shoulda, woulda, coulda, judgment. There's no lies. The cleanse kit is not included, but you guys have 2 options in this cleanse, and we will talk about that when we jumpstart everybody on July 6th. Are you ready? That's the next question. Again, I will go back to what we talked about early. A real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there's no action, you haven't decided, and it's all just a theory. Until you put it into practice, it is just a concept in your mind, but it becomes a reality once you actually get out in the field, get out of the stands and start practicing and making it a thing where you're really practicing for the real game, the big game. So are you in the big game, or do you want to still be in the stands observing all of this going, yeah, well, I tried all this stuff. It still hasn't worked. Why will this work? Because it's completely different. And I hope that you guys have heard that in the slideshow and in the webinar. So if you talk about it, it's a dream. If you envision it, it's possible. But if you schedule it, it's real. So it's now time. It's time to live today for the tomorrow that you're committed to. I love this little guy. I start my journey today and I will not fail. I saw a lot of these guys yesterday in San Diego when I was going for my run. But this is the system that clients used to pay me $500 a month to walk them through over 3 months. But now you guys are getting it for even less than 10% of the cost of what people used to. And this was 8 years ago when I first started doing this stuff. So this is what we're going to go through. Step 1 is to reduce stress and build your adrenal reserves. This is one thing that I have not seen in cleansing. The average cleanse today does not start with building your adrenals. They move right into cleansing. Your body is not ready for that. You can't just start cleansing because your body's going to just shut down. So we've got to get your body ready for the quote unquote fight, the battlefield. Step 1 is what we will focus on. A lot of adaptogens, a lot of energy building. You should have enough energy to go into step 2, which is week 2. We're loving on your liver. We're improving your ability to filter toxins, which are the things that are imbalancing your hormones to begin with. Step 3 is restoring healthy gut function, probiotics, lots of colon love, making sure you're pooping 2 to 3 times a day. Yes, I said 2 to 3 times a day, not every other day. So we're gonna talk about princess poops. And I mean, seriously, I will go so far as to say, if you guys have crazy questions about what you're seeing in the toilet, you can totally feel free to message me. I will tell you what it means. I'm not kidding. Not kidding, because your poop is the #1 teller of what your body is speaking to us, which is what does it look like? It may look sort of funny and you might get scared of it. Like, that's fine. We're here for you. And then step 4 is to detoxify heavy metals and chemicals, and it never stops. We teach you guys how to keep going. So we begin July 6th, so you can celebrate your Independence Day this weekend and then free yourself from hormonal hell after. What if this was the one program that changed your whole life? So most people
What if it is the one program that changed your whole life? I know it is.
Whoops, I forgot is. Most people have no idea of the giant capacity we can immediately command when we focus all our resources on mastering a single area of our lives. So if you focus on your body and cleansing your body here, it just, like I said, it ricochets and it ripples throughout your entire life. So the last question is, are you ready to do this? Time to take your life back by cleansing and resolving your root cause issues to reverse hormonal imbalance, related symptoms, and the associated diseases. All right, we covered so much in an hour, so just get started. And we're super excited to have you guys. And thank you guys for being here today. Thank you guys for being patient today. And ultimately, thank you for loving yourself enough to spend this time with us, because you know you're worth it.
Yeah.
All right. Namaste, sisters.
Bye. See ya.